A wild Chiana has been spotted. Hey peeps, happy Tuesday, welcome back to the sewing room. I am going to hopefully get my Luzerne trench coat finished today. Thinking about it last night, I'm not sure that I have any buttons that are going to work for this, so I think I might have to do covered buttons, which will be fine, and I have plenty of those. Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. So I have got a little guest with me today. My room is, I keep it as clean as possible and we have a cleaner come in weekly, but every now and again it starts to smell very much like cat. And not in a bad way, just in a cat lives here. So Chi is currently on my uncle's quilt having a bath, and I have got all of the windows and stuff in my room open. I have got those meshes that go over the windows, but Chiana has learnt they are only magnetised, and she's learnt that she can climb them, pull them down and then go out onto the windowsill. Ask me how I know. So I have got her down here while I'm airing out my room because I do have guests coming, which I'm so excited about. And not that we're gonna, I mean my best friend is actually staying in my room with me because we don't have a spare room anymore. It's currently mum's walk-in wardrobe, which is fine because there's no room otherwise. We've definitely downsized in this house, so yeah, just want to make sure it's nice. So as I say, I'm going to get on with the Luzerne trench coat, get that done. I have got some silver buttons. I wonder if they're big enough and if they're going to look, if I'm going to like how they look, or if they'll be a bit too in your face. I think I might make a covered button and then put a silver one on and see which I prefer. Yeah, I think that's the way forward. But the first things first is last night I left this where I had just sewn on the facing pieces and all around. So I now need to trim, clip, grade all of the seams, turn them through, press them, top stitch them, and see how that goes. As I say, this is getting very thick in certain places. But to be fair, the top stitching on the outside is looking fine. On the inside it is looking a bit wavering. So it's not really top stitching, it's the bobbin thread of the top stitching. But on the outside it looks straight, like straight lines. So, you know, that's what matters, isn't it? That's what matters. Anyway, I have finished editing yesterday's waffle, which I'm just about to put up now. Then fingers crossed I will have a finished coat to show you today, and I shall start on the Sorrento jacket, which would be nice. And then moving on, I'm not sure which I'm going to work on next, the kiwi or Chantilly. I think the Chantilly might be a better bet because I can definitely get that dress done in a day. It's the 6891 or the 6842, I think that's the buttering number for it. Whereas the 8577 is definitely a couple of days. I mean, it's a good sort of 12-hour sew, that one. So you can do it in a day, but it's not the most fun powering through and getting it done in a day, but it would be fun to wear at the retreat, so maybe I will do that one. Anyway, I need to get these finished first before I even can consider or contemplate doing those, so let's get started.
2 hours later.
We are very close, very close indeed. Still have a lot of finishing to do. So I've bound the edges of the cuffs, but I need to turn those under. It says to slip stitch them into place, like blind stitch them in, which I think I probably will do, but I think I'm going to top stitch around the bottom of the cuff as well, just because I think it will look nice. Then obviously I need to sew on the buttons to sew this down. Did manage to get the belt loops on. The inside of that again is not pretty. I have put my buttonholes in, but I haven't opened them up yet. Got all my buttons made. I did indeed go for self-covered buttons, and I've got the little belt loop at the back on as well. The sleeves are in, but oh, look at all that prettiness on the inside. The sleeves are in. This is definitely not the top to be wearing underneath it. There's a lot of fabric, but I have put the bias binding on, but they need to be, the sleeve now needs to be trimmed back and the bias binding sewn down and then pressed. So the sleeves haven't been pressed at all. I managed to get them in. I think there is one tuck in one position, but you know what? I am not unpicking them. It gets really thick, really thick. But 2 secs. So we were meant to be having mum and dad's joint 70th birthday party at Larcoombe this evening, but unfortunately Ruth was unable to host us this evening. I mean, we were paying for it, but yeah, unfortunately we had to cancel it. So Mum has made dinner for 9 people. We've got canapes, we've got chicken and mushroom pie, and 2 desserts. So everyone's arriving at 5, which is in 11 minutes. So I'm going to go up to my room and get changed and go and join in the festivities. So I fully expected to get this finished this morning really quickly and then have, you know, most of the Sorrento jacket sewn up today. No, not so much. But you know what? I'm really liking how this is turning out. This is going to be something that gets used very often in my wardrobe because, as you guys know, I mean, today is an exception, but usually I am print head to toe, so it's nice to have some outerwear that won't clash with everything, although I do have lots of printed fabrics to make coats with as well. It is time for me to call it a night for today, so I hope you've enjoyed the little bit that I filmed. I will finish this off tomorrow and get started on the Sorrento jacket, and then who knows what else I will get done tomorrow afternoon, just before everybody starts arriving for fun and festivities. So I hope you enjoy my day, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye! Hey peeps, happy Wednesday! Yes, Wednesday! Welcome back to the sewing room. The hair is drying, air drying. This is with some gel on it. I don't have a microfiber towel yet, so I still think it's getting a little bit fluffy from the towel that not that I dry my hair, I just gently wrap it in a turban. But yeah, definitely got the curly thing going on today, although I don't think it's going to. I've got to stop touching it as well. That's one of the other things, is I am a definite hair toucher. That's not good for the curls. So I am going to get my trench coat finished today. It's back there. We had a lovely evening last night. No, it's just video now, but if we all turn around and hold still for like 10 seconds.
Oh, 10 seconds? 10 seconds? Sean, if I were you, I'd leave this family now.
Yeah, no, just put yourself out of shot.
10, 9, 8. Ready?
It was so lovely to see Mum's cousins again. I mean, obviously they're my cousins as well, but they're the kind of generation that grew up with Mum, so we don't get to see them very, very often, but it is very nice to see them last night. Mum made an amazing dinner. She did like chicken pies, but she cooked the filling separately and then baked the puff pastry tops separately as well, so that they stayed really crispy, and we've got enough, which is awesome, so that when we've got some guests over the weekend we can do a repeat of that, because we've got enough left of the filling. There was definitely 2 whole chickens went into that. It was a very long process, but oh my goodness, it tasted delicious. I'm very much looking forward to that again. But yeah, it was lovely to see everybody. They're all going out for lunch today down on the seafront. I am, as I say, trying to finish my trench coat, hopefully get working on the Sorrento jacket as well. Then we'll see how far I get with that during today too. So less waffle, more sewing. Let's see how I get on.
1 eternity later.
It is done. I have clearly gone for wooden buttons. The self-covered buttons I'd made from the fabric were really nice, but the shank on them is quite large, and so they weren't sitting as flat to the coat as I would have liked. So I went through my stash, and these were the buttons that I had available. They are ever so slightly bigger than the buttonholes, ever so slightly bigger than the shank buttons I had made, so the buttonholes are a little bit tight. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I'm really pleased that I went for regular buttonholes rather than bound buttonholes. I think that this is such a utilitarian looking garment with all the top stitching on it. The pattern doesn't have you put buttonholes, faux or otherwise, into these details, but I prefer it, and it's a very minor detail that you can barely see, but because I've done machine buttonholes on these little tab details and on the back tab as well, I just thought it made sense to do machine buttonholes on the front of it, and I have to say I do think it's worked out really well. I'm going to tip you down a little bit. I have hemmed this with only a 5/8 of an inch hem rather than the 1 1/4 inch hem that the pattern suggests, because as you guys know, I've made a muslin for this and I've added 2 inches of length to the bodice of this, and I needed it for the waist to sit where I wanted it to, and I didn't add any length to the skirt, and I just felt that if I hemmed it by the amount that they wanted, it might have been a little bit less balanced and a little bit less proportional, so I'm very glad that I've done that. So that's the back. Got the little button detail at the back there. I do really like that. I think it's a nice little detail. I added an inch of length to the sleeves, and I'm really glad that I did. I've hemmed these by 5/8 of an inch rather than the full kind of 1 inch that the pattern suggests, which means my tabs are a little bit further up than necessarily they should look to be, but I don't mind that. I'm not going to change it. The pattern did call for you to do a blind hem on both the cuffs and the hem of the coat, but I decided that when I was top stitching around the front edge, you're meant to stop at the bottom. I decided just to go around the bottom edge of this. Again, that works for me because I have hemmed this with a much smaller seam allowance than the pattern recommends. Yeah, this is a stray thread that needs clipping. Because I added 2 inches of length, I did add an extra set of buttons to the bodice, and I don't know that I needed to, and I don't think that I would add these extra buttons. These are actually as the pattern suggests, and so are these, and these are the ones in the middle, the ones that I've added extra. I did button this up, and it just looked a little bit strange at the top, so I think what I would do next time is just not include these top 2 buttons. But you know, I do think I'll make this again. My battery died. I do think I will make this again. I really like how this has turned out. The sleeves are a really good size. Again, this is not the kind of coat that I'm going to be wearing over my bulkiest jumpers. This is a very lightweight, non-warm coat. It's kind of just an extra layer for spring, early summer in the UK. It is kind of weirdly restrictive here when I'm putting my arms forward. Like, you know, the rest of it's totally fine, but yeah, it's just a little bit restrictive there, which I can't kind of work out why, but not so much that again, not enough that I'm not going to wear this, but yeah, I'm really pleased with this. So let me show you. As I say, very kind of boring out exterior. I mean, this fabric feels lovely. It is just black cotton twill though, so it's not the most exciting of exteriors. And if I was to wear this open, I would just tie the belt in a loose knot at the back to kind of keep it, you know, from swinging about. Here we're going to see these buttons and buttonholes will ease up over time, I'm sure, but they are just a little bit stiff. There we go. So I did put on the flat button on the inside as well, but I found that really difficult to actually do up, and I haven't done it up. I haven't noticed that this was sitting badly. The insides, oh, they're so bright and colourful. I'm really pleased with the insides of this, because I would never have made this black coat with a plain black lining and not put some bright colours on the inside, because this is me we're talking about. When I make this again, because like I say, I do think I will make this again, I'm going to fully line it. It just got so thick in so many places on the inside. The insides of this as well, having sewn the belt loops on and all different things like that. I'm not loving how the inside of this looks, but from far away it's beautiful. Like, I don't want anyone to have a look at this one too close up. Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone to inspect this one too closely. The top stitching, and just, it's not my favourite on the inside from a construction point of view. I didn't have to line the inside of this one because the pattern is drafted obviously without it, but I like how interlining looks, and I do like how the interior of this looks, and if I just made this in plain black I wouldn't have been so happy with it. I would, even if I hadn't have lined the main body or interlined the main body of the coat, I would have lined the sleeves. I've done that with a slippery viscose acetate lining. I have done it so that this is actually bag lined. These are all interlined, but the wrong sides of the lining and the sleeve are together so that there are no raw edges on the inside. Can I find a seam to show you? No, I cannot. There we go. So yeah, the wrong sides of the sleeve and the lining are together so that it's neat on the inside of this jacket. This is the third of my Make 9 projects done. Over the moon with it, really over the moon with it. Will make it again, probably in another plain brushed cotton twill, something like the stone one I was talking about yesterday with the Burberry jacket. I really want to try and recreate that. I have the gems to recreate that. I don't have the actual fabric. I'm thinking as well, if I was going to properly line this rather than interline this, I could make it out of a lighter weight wool as well. I really like the shape of this coat. I think it's a really nice shape. It's something that will work really well in my wardrobe with all of my bigger skirts. Put it back on. Yeah, with all my bigger skirts, I really think this would be a very versatile piece in my wardrobe. My Gertie coat, the green one, I wear frequently as well because of such big skirt to go over all the very big skirts that I actually wear in my dresses. So I think this is another great one and a great addition to the wardrobe. So yay! Really pleased that I have got this done. And like I say, this is the third of my Make 9 giant pigeons back. Giant, if you come to the hangouts, you know about the giant pigeon. Sorry about that, distracted by the wildlife. What was I saying? Yes, third of my Make 9. I am really pleased with this. I am going to move on to the next pieces of my Make 9, but I can see myself coming back to make another one of these coats at some point in the future because it is absolutely awesome. I can also see myself making this in a really kind of pretty and fancy printed fabric. There are some really amazing oilcloth fabrics that it could look quite cool in. Oh dear. Yeah, I need to not make my coats in prints. I need to line my coats with prints but make my coats plain fabrics on the outside so that go with all my dresses. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling at you. I'm going to go and have some lunch and then I am going to come down here and work on the Sew Over It Sorrento jacket. Start getting that sewn up because I think that's going to be a really nice make as well. Well, I know I've made 2 of them, so my third one, little black one, is going to be really functional in my wardrobe, but very pleased with this. Very pleased indeed. I have to do a thumbnail of like flesh. Right, food.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, it is 24 minutes past 9. I'm sorry I haven't been very chatty for the last couple of days, but I've just been trying to sort of power through the makes. I've got this far with my Sorrento jacket, but the next thing that I need to do is the sleeves, which means a continuous lap, which means I need to be concentrating and not tired like I am at the moment. But yeah, I'm really liking how this one's coming out. So again, Cobra Corsage lining, the black brushed cotton twill from fabric.com. This is the third Sorrento that I've made. Really liking it so far. Still got little fluffy bits all over it, so it will need a lint roll. It's the only trouble with this brushed cotton twill is it is a lint, like lint magnet, shall we say. But yes, very pleased with how this one's coming out. Really like it. I'm going to wait to do the sleeves till the morning because, as I say, continuous lap. But I'm really pleased with the Luzerne trench coat. I am going to wear it tomorrow. I have an appointment in town to get my eyelashes topped up, which I am very much looking forward to. Then I'll be back down here to get the Sew Over It's Sorrento finished. Mum is going to be free tomorrow, and after the last 4 days of hectic activities of cooking and pavlovas, and I think I took some photos of all the yummy food that Mum had made. Hopefully I have, and I'll put them up for you. But yeah, after the last couple of hectic days, she's going to come down here to chill. We need to finish the lining for her bag, and the zips have arrived finally. They took a long time to arrive, but then we did have a bank holiday weekend, didn't we? So yeah, but the zips have arrived, so we're going to get the Mum's bag finished, and hopefully I can start working on the little tie front shirts tomorrow as well, because I would like to get those done. I don't think I'm going to get any of the dresses done before all the festivities and activities start. I don't think my best friend's not arriving until Friday afternoon, like sort of 6 o'clock-ish, so early evening. But I'm not sure what time Jojo's arriving, and I need to go and fetch her from Freshwater because she's coming into the Lymington to Freshwater, no, not Freshwater, Lymington to Yarmouth, or Yarmouth to Lymington, I can't remember which way around it is. But she's coming into that ferry. We have 3 car ferry ports on the island, so yes, she's coming into the one right the other side of the island, which is fine, totally fine. So I need to go and get her at some point as well. So I might get some sewing done on Friday morning, depending on what time everyone's arriving. But yeah, really looking forward to the weekend. So exciting, and it's been so lovely to see the family. These are, like I say, all Mum's cousins, so to celebrate Mum and Dad's 70th birthday, so they're all of like an age slightly older, like a few kind of couple of years younger and quite a few years older, so it was lovely to see them all. It's a lot of family for a lot of time, but we don't see them for like sort of, you know, 10 years at a time, and then intense weekends, well, I mean midweek, but weekends like this, and then yeah, won't see each other for a couple of years again. But they're all very active on social media like Facebook and stuff like that, keep in contact with each other, and phone calls and cards and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been lovely. It has been lovely. Anyway, that was 4 minutes of waffle. I have no idea what this vlog is going to have been like, so thank you for bearing with me whilst I make some very boring black clothes. I mean, they're not boring, they're lovely, but I know it's just really weird for them to be black rather than full of print, but like hopefully the thumbnail is like literally the flashback kind of like look. So yeah, I'll stop waffling because otherwise I could just carry on for ages and I'm getting sleepy. So I hope you enjoyed the last couple of days, and I will see you soon. Oh gosh, I've got another video to edit for Saturday. I will see you soon for lots of hopefully retreat fun, and there will be a hangout on Sunday for my birthday with hopefully Erica Lee, Jojo, Rachel, and possibly Natasha as well. Anyway, on that note, I will see you later. Bye!